Hello, Tashitele, everyone. I hope all of you are doing good. And welcome back to the Lojong session. So as usual, we take a few moments, a few minutes dedicating practice of mantra recitation to all the beings that who need our prayers. Of course, we dedicate for for all sentient beings happiness after enlightenment, and in particularly of those who karmically closely linked with us, and of those that who have requested prayers and to whom that we have witnessed that they need our prayer supports. Those of people who pass away, those who are right very now going under difficulties. Yeah, so we do that on the basis of setting artistic motivation, and that also by refreshing our refuge in Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Sangye Chedan Zoje Jonala Janju Bado Dani Janzonje Daje Jenzoje Be Zonamje Dola Benje Sangye Drubarajo Sangye Chedan Zoje Jonala Janju Bado Dani Janzonje Daje Jenzoje Be Zonamje Dola Benje Sangye Drubarajo Sangye Chedan Zoje Jonala Janju Bado Dani Janzonje Daje Jenzoje Be Zonamje Dola Benje Sangye Drubarajo Kange dozene zone dawa damje bambe jere dambe jene denze bang godam de la cha ze lo donye ninje song do ju be la ma ze je zenje kanje de de ge jana pe mo denze ja zo so wa de zo da ju jin ye lo zemje damje de wa dan de we ju dan dem ra ju je zemje damje dunga dan dunga je ju dan da wa ju je zemje damje dunga me be de wa dan mi da wa ju Semje damje nire jada nidan dawe danyola nebra gyuroje semje damje dewa dan dewe gyudan demra gyuje semje damje dunga dan dunga je gyudan dawa gyuje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dami dawa gyuje semje damje nire jada nidan dawe danyola nebra gyuroje semje damje dewa dan dewe gyudan demra gyuje semje damje dunga dan dunga je gyudan dawa gyuje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dami dawa gyuje Semje damje nyere jada nyedan dawe danyo la ne barai gyuro je. Tabje doje shaje re doje jenje mendo doje bojo bo zeje lombo dambo zebe go shaje jabo de la cha ze lo. Daya da o mone mone ma mone yeso ha daya da o mone mone ma mona yeso 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 Daya dao mone mone ma na yezo ha daya dao mone mone ma na yezo daya dao mo gade gade para sam gade bodhi yezo ha daya dao mo gade para sam gade bodhi yezo daya dao mo gade para sam gade bodhi yezo ha daya dao mo gade para sam gade bodhi yezo daya dao mo gade para sam gade bodhi yezo ha daya dao mo gade para sam gade bodhi yezo daya dao mo gade para sam gade bodhi yezo ha daya dao mo gade para sam gade bodhi yezo daya dao mo gade para sam gade bodhi yezo Omo ahun benzang guru be masede Omo ahun benzang guru be masede Omo ahun benzang guru be masede Omo ahon benzarangoro bemazedeo. 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 Mime zeve de jenjere deme jembe ombo jambe yang de bon male jumze zanwenda ganje jembe zujen zonga ba lo zanda be jabo sovande mime zeve de jenjere deme jembe ombo jambe de bon male jumze zanwenda ganje jembe zujen zonga ba lo zanda be jabo sovande mime zeve de jenjere deme jembe ombo jambe Debo male jonze zavenda ganji jembe zuje zonga ba halo zanda bisham la zoande mingme zebe derjen jereze teme jembe ombo jambe Debo male jonze zavenda ganji jembe zuje zonga ba halo zanda bisham la zoande mingme zebe derjen jereze teme jembe ombo jambe Debo male jonze zavenda ganji jembe zuje zonga ba halo zanda bisham la zoande mingme zebe derjen jereze teme jembe ombo jambe Debo male jonze zavenda ganji jembe zuji zonga ba lo zanda be jamla zowa de mingme zebe de jenjere ze teme jembe ombo jambe yang debo male jonze zavenda ganji jembe zuji zonga ba lo zanda be jamla zowa de Omo mani be me ho 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 Omo mani beme ho, 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 omo mani beme Omo mani beme ho, 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 omo mani beme Omo mani beme ho, 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 omo mani beme Omo mani beme ho, omo mani beme ho, omo mani beme ho, omo mani beme ho. Omo dare dure so ha, omo dare dure so ha, omo dare dure so ha, omo dare dure so. Omo dare dure so ha, omo dare dure so ha, omo dare dure so. Omo dare dure zo ha, omo dare dure zo ha, omo dare dure zo ha, omo dare dure zo. Omo dare dure zo ha, omo dare dure zo ha, omo dare dure zo ha, omo dare dure zo. Omo dare dure zo ha, omo dare dure zo ha, omo dare dure zo. Omo dare dure zo ha, omo dare dure zo ha, omo dare dure zo ha. Tayada omo beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de zo ha tayada omo beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de zo ha tayada omo beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de zo Tayada omo beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de zo ha tayada omo beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de zo ha tayada omo beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de zo Tayada omo beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de zo ha tayada omo beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de zo ha tayada omo beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de zo ha tayada omo beganze ma beganze Ranza samunga de zo tayada omo beganze ma beganze ranza samunga de zo Omo mare zemazo, 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 omo mare zemazo. Daje jawa tamje da, jeba yela sambe de, dinye keme ze jundu, druba lame jinje. Raja jume jeze dro de jume ju yaza so zemde zemele jume je bakun le nyu do jab do so je wa de nyu do da wa se je ma do ju ne do wa je jama le ba de ya za la go bra jo pa ma sem je tam je den da den ju je nge do tam je da do do wa da jan ju zem ba ka na su jo ba de da kun je mo na do ju je sem je ne ba je nye ba Nyudo nele da jo je le ne ne ma le ba da do jo wa me bro jo jambe ba we je da jem ba da gun do zambo de ya de jin je de da gun je so da lo ya wa de da dam je rab do ngo de zo je be ja wa dam je de ngo gong la jo do nga ba de da je wen za wa de gun ja zambo je rab do ngo wa Bedan zowa mi ge be yi je no bo ba sam je sem je ra wa gu je be zam ba je je de be da ji jo ni mon de le zen de le ni me gu yan de le je ni ze da do de le gun jo zum je da ji yo. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so so we are commencing new text, and that is Sumpa Lotsawa's Year Whispered Mind Training, which is on page 215 if you are using the Great Collection of Lojong texts. So yeah, so again, I mean, all the different texts that we covered is unbelievable, amazing. Each text, it stand out. It is own, very unique, very special, very specific. Pit instructions, the tools that we can use to benefit ourselves, benefit others. Make our spiritual practice most meaningful. Then this text too, I find is extremely beneficial, and especially so relevant to our time, so relevant to we human being, especially human being of this time, that we are, very much, caught up our emotion with, this four different kind of concern that this teaching bring up, and bring about the antidote for that, the concern of emotionally, that being restless. This is something that very much all of us, we go through that in our day-to-day life, um, until that, we cannot enjoy the present moment, until, we cannot enjoy the things that we have, until that we cannot enjoy, feel satisfied with people that we are with, the health that we have, the possession that we have, the comfort that we have, the environment that we have, our mind, our emotion, very much stay discontented, always stay restlessness, always wanting more, wanting something new, always, um, looking something better in other things than the things that you already have, and most of all, our mind always remain, in of uh, restless in by focusing the negative side of our life, the negative side of ourself, negative side of our mind, negative side of our body, negative side of our environment, and then negative side of others, etc. You see, so this is something that which is very much like a chronic, intense disease in us, which really uh, restlessly, very much, uh, pass very much, uh, yeah, very much, very much finishing our life, living restlessly, while living restlessly, very much we finish our life. Uh, most of us here already, we are in a mid-age, very much up to now. Even when we look back, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to the home that where we stay, the places that we have been, the people that to whom that we encounter, things that we have, uh, everything is very much like kind of everything is experienced very much in discontent way, and every time that we are very much experience the emotion of restlessness, you see, and the result of that, even now that very much we feel empty in achievements, mm, is very much that things, very much nothing is fulfilled. Yeah, so therefore, therefore, the antidote that the teaching provide here is so beneficial, to help ourselves to really settle ourselves, find meaning in whatever we have. Most of all, we actualize the wisdom of contentment in what we have, and able to live meaningfully in the present moment and enjoy the present moment. You see, rather than being restless in the fear of uncertainty of future, and restlessness being keep haunted by the past memories. Yeah. So then the second concern, feel like going somewhere, uh, again is all unsettled kind of emotion that we have, always again similar like what said before, always not enough, not good enough where you are, the home is not big enough, the car is not new enough, where you are is not good enough, the clothes that what you have is not good enough, the people that you have is not good enough, partner that you have is not good enough. You see, the food that you eat, food that you have in your fridge is not good enough, and the weather you have is not good enough. uh, uh, the whatever health that you have is like not good enough, some people go, I see there are many uh, you know people, both women and men, both I see, I mean it's individual choice, I'm not being critical about that, but um, some people they want to make their lips big and they inject or they do plastic surgery or whatever. Then I saw a lot of disaster. There may be a lot of successful treatments, really become more beautiful. I don't know, but you also see there's so many disasters that until that the lips are completely swollen like that. Then people feel not beautiful enough with their face, and they do plastic surgery, and unbelievable pain they have to go through, and worse than that, if the result is uh, that become the ugly one, then it's terrible, isn't it? Mm. Mm. So so all this, it is something that one of very disturbing emotion that we have. You see how wonderful that we completely 100% settle wholeheartedly, the partner that you have, the wife or husband or the girlfriend or boyfriend or friend, whatever that you have, like not only this lifetime, until I achieve enlightenment, I will be inseparable as a partner, as a friendship, as a companion. How wonderful, you know. Then no question about this lifetime going to be so beautiful of these two persons coming together. Mm. Because that's the best that you feel. You feel that you feel. You educate yourself to understand and feel that's the best. Then the home that you have, the place where you are now, you feel this is the best place to live in the whole world. You know, you say this is the best home that can live. Compared to all other home, even give you a huge palace to live in, but it's uh, uh, it's nothing special, comparing to where you are now. Even it can be just one small room, you know, one small room, but then you have settledness there. How how much the person will enjoy the life, how much person will feel so good about your home. Then the look that you have, uh, whatever look that you have, like if you understand that how special, how it's special, you know, even your color may be different, your shape may be different, your height may be different, your size may be different, but as long as you understand that's the fashion, that's the uniqueness, that's the specialty, that I'm outstanding among all. Outstand among all, that therefore so special. I don't have to be, I don't have to look like the one that I'm not me. I don't have to have the height that which I don't have. I don't have to have the height that someone has. you know that height is a uniqueness for him or her. But whatever height that you may have, you may be even dwarf, you still feel this is unbelievable precious uniqueness. And how much appreciation, the joy from the appreciation, acknowledgement, the uh, the pride that you have, it would be amazing, isn't it? You see. Mm, like that. Mm, uh, yeah. So, so you see. So that's why I find this teaching is so rightly to really to fix ourselves. Uh, Fix our way of thinking. All these concerns are really is real. That it really happens in our day to day. And those are the main cause of our suffering. Mm. Then um, mm, always fear about death. We always you know from a spiritual point of view, intendedly mm, intendedly understand the nature of death, then understanding the karma and the delusion that you have already accumulated, then if you don't purify that, then the death can be so scary. Then fearing of that, then diverting, your effort into learning of Dharma is beneficial, and it is one of a very important, preparatory practices for us to really to engage into pure practice of Dharma. But otherwise, just simply, getting fear of death, there's no meaning. Just simply always, afraid of death is not meaningful. Is a distraction. Just simply scared of death is a distraction, and it is negative. There's no benefit in that. You see, there's no benefit in that. But then we do have that negative emotion, that fearing of death. You see, you know, any form of natural disaster, happening, in your place or nearby you, you're scared of, death. You see, when you take off flight, you're scared of death. You see, you go by car also, if the road is a bit winding, it's slippery, you're scared of death. Even when we, after eating food, we get diarrhea, then we're scared of death. Because we're eating wrong food, scared of death. Then generally, whenever there's a sense of bit of inconvenience that comes in our body health, we're scared of death. We fear of death. You see, then we freak out. Until we cannot even have a good sleep, until we cannot even have a until we cannot eat properly, and then you have a lot of hallucinations that which really haunt, to really mess up your day. So so therefore, again, this is something that which is very common to us. So therefore, again, this teaching, provide the antidote, to overcome, overcome that. You see, then the one of the main, the root cause of all the inconvenience, all the sufferings, the three kind of sufferings, the 8 kind of suffering that described from Lamrim, and the 6 kind of suffering that described from Lamrim. And so basically, all the negative emotion that haunt us is very much due to not understanding the nature of our mind. Not understanding nature of our mind. You see, that is the key point. You see, and many of us, we are very ignorant about that. You see, we try to fix, very in a superficial level, to overcome our sufferings, our problems, but we're never really able to apply antidote to the ground, really to the root. So therefore, even when we do some practices, meditations, or even when we go for counseling, when we get the treatment, it's very temporary cure, very, very temporary kind of help. There's no ultimate kind of help that we get, because whatever those methods to help, our suffering is very superficial. not really reaching to the to its root. You see, the antidote unable to apply to its root because, first of all, the therapies as well as the patient, don't unable to detect the main cause of all the suffering that we go through, especially the emotional sufferings that we go through. You see, so now, learning these Lojong teachings, in particularly this very particular text, I find it is so powerful, psychological therapy tool to really to help we kind of human being to overcome our day-to-day sufferings, overcome our our yeah our any form of emotional sufferings, especially any form of our emotional sufferings. Especially the last point, the fourth, the antidote, the knowing the absolute nature of the mind, bring about complete cure from the root cause of our emotional problems. You see, so that way, then that psychological help to the patient can really recover once for all, not just for temporary, like that. You see, so therefore, it is such a short text, very simple, but really, pinpoint to the major, these four major problems that we have, really address the four major the causes of our suffering, especially our emotional suffering. Then offer for direct antidote for that. You see, so if we remember this, if we remember these four antidotes and we apply timely, then we really can able to help ourselves, and we also can share this knowledge with others. Especially nowadays, there are many Buddhist practitioners that who are psychologists, therapists. They practice therapies, and this can be so useful for you to use to treat others. I find very, very beneficial like that. So anyway, so now I will go through the text. So what I've said is just a bit of, it's something that make us to understand the teaching is not just to keep in our idea, or not just kind of count the number of texts that we complete, number of teaching that we heard. We really need to apply the teaching right away in our day-to-day life. Really bring the practice into our way of life. You see, so that way, then the purpose is fulfilled. Yeah. So so Sumpa Lotsawas is a great mahasiddha, great mahasiddha, great realized being. That so yeah, and also is a translator, who Tibetan who travel to India and study from many great masters in India, then bring Dharma in Tibet, in particularly, interpreting, those Sanskrit teachings into Tibetan. So very much like a translator. So great mahasiddha translator, Sumpa Lotsawa. And ear whispered mind training. So this teaching is very much transmitted like ear whispered way. Therefore, it called like ear whispered mind training. Is very much the you know the the Vajrayogini and the Tara, the two emanations, the two emanations of Tara through its composition, and then the Sumpa Lotsawa was heard of this teaching. Then he himself received the benefit. Then he transmit to the fellow practitioners, and that's how the lineage of this teaching came up to now, like that. So anyway, from the text, there's a little history there, so we can learn from that. So first, Guru Namo. So Sanskrit word, prostrate to Guru or homage to Guru. So the homage to the spiritual teacher. So again, as usual, to venerate, the lineage, past lineage gurus for the blessing of this teaching, and also to accumulate merit, clear obstacle to the composition of this teaching, and bringing benefit out of this teaching to the sentient being. So that's the reason the homage is there. So then after that, I read from the text. The realized Siddha Sumpa Lotsawa traveled to India and undertook extensive study of most of the secret mantra system. So, as mentioned before, he is a great practitioner in Tibet. He's a Tibetan master, so who traveled to India, and specifically, he studied the major teachings on Tantra. Yeah. Then I continue read. Just before his return to Tibet, he brought his leftover gold to offer to a great enlightenment monument at Bodh Gaya. So after he completed his study, before he returned to Tibet, so he brought from Tibet a lot of gold, to offer to the teachers, from whom that he requests the dharma learning, So before, he still have some level of the goal after he complete his studies. Then he thought that before he returned back to Tibet, he should visit the Bodh Gaya stupa, where Buddha enlightened, make offering of that goal, so he traveled to Bodh Gaya to do that. Then, as he was circumambulating this stupa, two women, one reddish and the other blueish, were circumambulating the stupa as well. At time, they covered above in the sky, and at other time, they appeared to be walking on the ground. So as Sumpa Lotsawa was circumambulating, the great stupa, then there's two women. One, look red color. The another one look blue color woman. So so these two women is emanation of a Tara. Also, you can regard as emanation. You can also understand as emanation of Vajrayogini. Vajrayogini, or emanation of a Tara. So Tara has a red Tara, bluish color, Tara. Mm, mm. Then the Tara's manifestation, mm, what to say? There's also Dharma, the Arya Dharma protectors. So basically there are many different high tantric deities form of Tara's emanation, beside 21 Tara. So in any way, this redish and the blueish are the emanations of the you can say dakinis or the Taras or yoginis. Mm. So these two women, uh, this Sumpa Lotsawa witness, in a very instant, sometime you see them floating in the sky, and they're still going around the stupa, but they're kind of flying. Then in the instant, you also witness, they are walking, very nearby, circumambulating, front of the Sumpa Lotsawa. So we said the bluish woman then said to the reddish one. So this is the where the whispering. This is the conversation. That Sumpa Lotsawa is hearing, which is the teaching. So the bluish woman then said to the reddish one, basically asked 4 questions. So the first one is, last night I felt mentally restless. So that's the first question. So I've already given the meaning before, Also, even though these two women are manifesting, as the bluish woman, as if she's in trouble and seeking kind of, suggestions or advice from the red dakini. But in actual fact, this true Tara's emanation, or the dakini's emanation, is in fact giving a solution to Sumpa Lotsawa, that who is experiencing all these 4 questions, all these 4 concerns that Sumpa Lotsawa is experiencing in that very time. So Sumpa Lotsawa is experiencing restless. The restless because of that his time to be in India is finished. He needed to return to Tibet, and his heart is not contented with all the learnings, even though he learned so much, and he do not wish to leave to Tibet. He want to continue to stay in India and continue to study, continue to learn. So he has this sense of misfeeling, of not wanting, not wanting to leave. So there's kind of uneasiness, unacceptance. He's experiencing unacceptance, that his time is arrived to leave all his studies and return to Tibet. So so this is the question that this is the feeling that Sumpa Lotsawa is going through. That's why he's unhappy. So the bluish dakini, express his feeling in the word to the reddish. He said, last night I felt mentally restless. Then the second question, I felt like going somewhere. So this is the second question. So again, the Sumpa Lotsawa, is very unsettled. He's very much like moving from one place to another place. He still feels very empty of his heart, discontented in his heart. When he was with the teachers, he felt that okay, now I needed to move on. Then when he came to Bodh Gaya, he feels very blessed, but at the same time that he need to leave from that place, isn't it? So there's a long journey ahead. It's a very difficult journey ahead. Returning to Tibet. So but at the same time, there's very much kind of very misfeeling. You know, there's some sense of excitement that going back to Tibet, his homeland, but at the same time, there's a misfeeling. You see, so I felt like going somewhere. So meaning it's discontented. Uh, Discontented in the teaching that he received, the places that he visited in India, and also the journey that he is going through. Is everything is kind of uh, not fulfilled. He have that kind of unsettled mind. That kind of unfulfilled mind. So the second question, I felt like going somewhere. Then the third question is, I hope this is not some premotion about my death. So because of this uneasiness that going on in his heart, he very much regarded as inauspicious. Maybe something bad thing going to happen to him. Which we also, as I already mentioned before, you know, uh, we can be so superstitious. Even some little thing, you know, even the, yeah, for some people, certain animal, you see certain animal, certain the sound of certain animal, you regard, oh, this is a sign of death, or you have some kind of a bad dream, then say, maybe this is a sign that I'm going to die, etc. So anyway, so Sumpa Lotsawa, this uneasy feeling, he felt that this is the kind of sign of that he's going to die soon. He's going to die soon. So he have this sense of uh, sense of deep sense of fear about dying. You see. Mm. So I hope this is not some promotion about my death, for I am terrified of dying. You see. So. Mm, 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 mm. Or the third question is um, the superstitious mind of thinking those uneasiness as a sign for his death. Fourth question is that I really scared of dying. So she expressed, the Sumpa Lotsawa, that what he's going through, that he really scared of dying. You see, so that's the fourth question. Mm. So these are the four questions. I continue reading. Exclaiming this, she asked her companion four questions. Mm. So blueish, the dakini asked the redish, these four questions. To this, the reddish woman, casting side glance at Lotsawa, glance, So after hearing these four questions, and the lady, glance at, Sumpa Lotsawa. So Sumpa Lotsawa witnessed that. Mm. So this showed the sign that all these four question concerns are in fact is happening in Sumpa Lotsawa. But there's no, karmically ripened to directly speak to Sumpa Lotsawa. So rather, the Tara manifested into true woman's form, and through this conversation, transmit the teaching by whispering it, or through, very much like ear whispered way. So cast aside a glance to the Lotsawa, responded to her companion as follows. So the following is the four answers to the four questions that presented before. So the four answers are: if you have sense of abandonment, so this is the antidote, abandonment. If you have a sense of abandonment, oh lady, everything you do will bring happiness. Your mind suffer because it lacks its quality of abandonment. You see, so abandonment here is abandonment of grasping, abandonment of attachment grasping, attachment grasping and aversion grasping. You see, attachment grasping to something that you feel comfortable, and you have attachment grasping. You keep holding on to that. You don't want to go away from that. Aversion grasping is, those things that unsure want, have not encountered want, those unpleasant ones that you avert, uh, you have grasping, averting it, you do not want to get into that, you see. Like Sumpa Lotsawa, there's an attachment of the enjoyment that he had while receiving all those, teachings from his master while he's in India. And that sense of aversion of, traveling back to Tibet, the journey, he have a sense of aversion, so that's why his mind become restless, you see. So therefore, therefore, you see, uh, uh, therefore, um, you need to have a sense of abandonment. Means you need to let go of grasping, and let go of grasping. In another way, understanding is to have the wisdom of acceptance, acceptance wherever you are, whatever journey takes, accept it and be in that present moment, and actualize meaning out of it. Actualize meaning, purposes, whatever comes in your way. You see, whether it's unpleasant, whether it's pleasant, whether it's old place, old people, new place, new people, old experience, new experience, whatever comes in your way, have the wisdom of acceptance, acceptance in the way that acceptance by seeing, by seeing meaning in it, by seeing purpose in it, you see. so so like that. So here you can also understand that the like the teaching that we have covered the last session, taking joy and pain onto the path, so that is the that comes from the wisdom of acceptance, you see. That whatever, whether joy or pain, whatever experience comes in your way, you you have the perspective of seeing meaning in it, you see. You always see meaning in it, and uh, utilize the benefit by transforming it, if it is something to be averted, or joy, or happiness, happiness or suffering, whatever it is, you see. So so this is what it meant. So your mind suffer because it lacked this quality of abandonment. So now we have to relate to ourselves. We have to relate to ourselves. You see, we have so many uh, experiences from morning to night. Whether some are minor, some are quite intense. You know, that holding on to, grasping, either grasping attachment to the things that you want, and grasping aversion, and because of that, then your heart is not in peace. You see, so rather, we have to use the antidote of abandonment in the acceptance, and settle ourselves in the present moment, and enjoy the peace from that settledness, mm, utilizing the purpose and the meaning, of that present moment. Now the second answer is, if your mind rests where it is placed. So this, so placing, placing your mind, placing your mind, wherever that you wish to, you wish to, yeah, you wish to rest in it. So if your mind is rest where it is placed, oh lady, it will be okay even if you travel elsewhere. Your mind suffer because it cannot rest where it is placed. So here is talking about contentment. Uh, Wherever you are, whoever you're with, whatever I've discussed before, having contentment in that. So this one way of understanding. The another way of understanding is uh, uh, you have a sense of serviceable mind through the training of mindfulness of concentration. You see, so the best, we train in shamatha, and if you achieve shamatha, then you're really able to uh, rest as much as you want, where your mind plays onto it. You can you can rest your mind uh, onto the object of where you wish to place your mind, your focus best. If not, at least certain degree of mindfulness training in our day-to-day life, we gain certain control over our mind. You see, very much control over our emotion. Uh, so that way, the emotion won't control us. Rather, our concentration, our mindfulness able to control the emotion. You see, so so like that. So in another way, uh, we have to train uh, using all these mind training tools. Uh, mm, uh, train our mind that until that uh, that our mind, our trained mind can able to handle our emotion, control our emotion. At this stage, at the beginning stage, our emotion is the one that controlling us. You see, any negative emotion arises, it really ruin our day and our time, our peace. You see, um, then there's the emotion, anything that to excite you also get distracted. You see, so so uh, we really need to train until that we able to really rest, our body and mind, uh, through body and mind, wherever you want to settle, wherever you want to place it. You see, so it's a very, very important meditation, very important training. If we really want to enjoy, our life, enjoy our awareness. You see, otherwise the emotion will never let us, uh, enjoy our awareness, because our awareness is always very much uh, stormed by different kind of emotions. They fluctuating different kind of emotions. You see. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yes. So like that. Then the third one: if your mind is turned to dharma, if your mind is turned to dharma, oh lady, you can die with ease. Your mind suffer because it is not usually turned to dharma. Mhm. So, as the bluish lady expressed that um, this the sign of death, that which bring fear to her, which Sumpa Lotsawa is going through, all those unsettled heart, maybe sign of his death, so that maybe he may not able to reach his homeland, etc., etc. All sort of concern that may be there. So because of that, he suffer. So now the answer is, your mind is, if your mind turn to dharma, If you contemplate in the dharma, or if your mind, if your mind express in the dharma, like such as in altruism, such as in emptiness, such as the wisdom of impermanent, such as wisdom of selflessness, wisdom of emptiness, such as attitude of love, compassion, altruism. Then, so that's what it means. That's what it means. Turn to dharma. Turn your mind into dharma. So if your mind is turned to dharma already, you can die with ease. Then you won't suffer when death comes in your way. You will die with ease. Your mind suffer because it is not usually turned to dharma. Your mind suffer when you think of death, when you see the sign of death, when you suffer, when you go through the death process, you suffer, and the death experience be very, very tormented, very, very suffering death experience, because our mind, our consciousness is not turned into dharma because of that. You see. So if we do not wish to ruin the death, if we do not wish to traumatize our continuum when we go through the death process, or if we do not wish to conclude in the disaster when we experience we go through the natural clear light, the disaster of unable to utilize the natural clear light as a path to actualize the path of clear light. Or during the dissolution, the death process, if you do not wish to haunted by the conceptual hallucinational dissolutions, and as well as even when you are healthy, just because of bad dream, just because of some inauspicious sign, just because of some diseases that comes in your way, just because of some natural disasters happening, that you suffer. So in order for not to suffer in all these different experiences and different times throughout the life, until the death comes, the way to do that is your heart completely turn into dharma. Your heart completely be in the dharma, means you always experience any experiences with bodhicitta and emptiness. You perceive everything with the lenses of bodhicitta and emptiness. You apprehend all experiences through altruism, the altruistic attitude and altruistic wisdom. Yeah. So in short, everything experience, perceive, evolve in altruism, in bodhicitta and emptiness. So that's what it means. Turn your mind in dharma. Never experience, never perceive things delusionally, hallucinationally. You see, never perceive, never experience the way how we used to perceive and how we used to apprehend, how we used to experience. Up to now, we experience, in the false way. We perceive in a false way. We interpret falsely, delusionally, hallucinationally. Therefore, we create negative karma. we suffer emotionally. We create causes for future sufferings. You see. So when you turn your heart into dharma, everything in the present you experience with fulfillment, joy. You create abundance of causes for future happiness, like that. Then fourth one, if you have recognized your mind as unborn, mm, uh, so meaning if you understand your mind uh, is emptiness, your mind, your mind lies in the nature of emptiness. Uh, the uh, uh, if you have the capability to see the mind lack of inherent nature, lack of inherent existence, then, old lady, there will be no death. There will be no death. You see, if you see the emptiness of your mind, then you see the emptiness of your continuum. You see the emptiness of your basis of your continuum. You see, so if you see the emptiness of basis of your continuum, which is your consciousness or the mind, then uh, there's no newly born, and there's no time of death. It is very much immortal. Mm, mm, uh, the mm, even the conventional nature of the mind, conventional nature of the consciousness, mm, is very much exists interdependent on the continuation. There's nothing more than that exists. So as long as since it is exists since it is exists only mere in the interdependent continuation, that interdependent continuation never dies. That continuation never dies. Continuation exists from the beginning, and it will exist ever. You see, ever. There's no interruption of the continuation. you know Birth cannot interrupt the continuation, death cannot interrupt the continuation. So therefore there's no birth and there's no death to the ultimate truth of the mind, ultimate truth of the consciousness. You see, so when you understand that, then mm, uh, the death that we ordinary beings perceive is simply is hallucinational understanding. It's a misperception. Is misperception. Uh, um, mm, uh, your identity, never dies, because your identity is very much exists on the basis of interdependent continuation. You see, which is the conventional Buddha nature. That conventional Buddha nature, you know, um, the, uh, the the conventional Buddha nature, which is very much the continuation of your consciousness, uh, which ever exists. So then, when in the concern of the ultimate nature of the consciousness, ultimate nature of your mind, then it is permanent. Ultimate nature of your mind is permanent because it is emptiness. It is permanent. So permanent, cannot experience the impermanent nature, isn't it? So therefore, death, life and death is impermanent factor. You see. So so therefore, the ultimate nature, the emptiness of the mind, is a permanent phenomena. Therefore, cannot be affected by impermanent factor. You see, so therefore, there's no death. You see, so therefore there's no death. So, old lady, there will be no death. Your mind suffer because you have failed to recognize your mind as unborn. You see, so it's very much, you need to what the Heart Sutra says. Um, Any son or daughter of the noble lineage who want to perform the profound activities of perfecting wisdom should consider things in the following way. They should clearly see that the five aggregates also are empty of any inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than a form is not other than emptiness. Similarly, feeling, discrimination, compositional factor, and consciousness are also empty. Likewise, Shariputra, all phenomena are empty. They have no defining characteristic. They are unproduced. Mm. They do not cease. They are unstained. They are not separated from stain. They do not decrease, nor do they increase. You see, so you can, you can, apply the understanding of the definition of emptiness onto the mind. You see, onto the onto the nature of the mind, which is unborn. You see, so since it's unproduced, there's also there's also nothing to be seized. You see, is the ultimate nature of the mind is not kind of newly born. Then it carry the characteristic to be cease or die. You see. So when the basis of your when the basis of your identity cannot dismantle, cannot cease, then the label that which is given onto that basis, which is I, cannot die, isn't it? Isn't it? So you it makes sense. You see. You see, because I, in actual fact, our form is not the I. You see, our physical aggregate is not the I. Our mental aggregate is not the I. The rest of the others, the aggregates are also not I. So I also do not exist in external outside. In other phenomena. You see, so I or me is a simply a label that designated onto a very stable base that which it is nature also both conventionally and ultimately cannot be seized, cannot be newly born, cannot be seized. As I mentioned before, even conventionally, the nature of the mind is nature of the mind is very much exists in the continuation only. That awareness, that cognizing, that clarity, cognizing, clear awareness. When you want to grab it, when you want to kind of uh, designate it, you can only able to designate on the basis of continuum, nothing more than that. You see, nothing more than the continuum. You see, so therefore, the continuum of cognizing, clear awareness is the thing that exists, and it ever exists. It ever exists not because of being permanent. It ever exists because it is continuum ever exists from beginning less to the until we achieve enlightenment. Forever. You see. So therefore, so you see. But as far as concerned with the ultimate nature, then the emptiness of that continuum, which is permanent, then cannot be affected by any form of the impermanent factor as mentioned before. So therefore, why specifically that we use our main basis of our, even though five aggregates are the basis of the label I, but the main basis is the consciousness. You see, because the physical wise, you see, within the frame of this life, the physical aggregates is completely discarded. It rarely sees. It can be even understood by our our naked eye. We don't need any wisdom to know that. We don't need any extra wisdom to know that, isn't it? So therefore, the conventional, the basis as far as concerned the physical body, it really completely get rid of, completely dies. You see, so it is not a stable basis. You see, so therefore, using the mind. So if we identify whether there is a death or not, on the basis of your stable base, which is the consciousness, then even in the not only in the ultimate level, but even in a conventional level, that you can prove to yourself in your wisdom understanding that, oh, really, really it makes sense that I really do not need to fear, because I'm not ceasing, I'm not dying, I'm not going to die. You see, you see, what dies is something that which is not me. What dies is my body dies. You see, my body dies. You see, but usually we fear of, you know, I die. I disappear. My continuum completely cease. You know, you see. So you see, so this wisdom is important because even some practitioner, when you are not clear about this wisdom, there's also danger of having doubt of whether there's next rebirth or not, having doubt of having doubt that what's the benefit of practicing so hard, because I cannot see there's a definite of my future life. It's very much kind of like in a belief, because teaching says so, someone says so, Buddhists believe so. But in actual fact, my wisdom, if I caution to myself, if I corner myself, do my continuum really exist even beyond, on the basis of this physical aggregate of human being? Then you kind of say, oh, really, I have no answer. Then there's a danger of, in a critical time, there's a danger of cautioning ourselves, you know, uh, whether there's next rebirth or not. Then there's a danger of questioning about the karmic law cause and effect. Then there's a danger of questioning about the benefit of dharma. So all these questions are very, very destructive, wrong view. When we learn Lamrim teachings, when we describe about the wrong view. So these are the wrong view. So just before pass away, that you have a wrong view, which is so harmful to yourself. You see, even when even for now, even just for one moment, we have this wrong view. Someone who's been practicing dharma and have this wrong view is a crisis, isn't it? So therefore, this particular understanding, the last one, knowing the recognizing the absolute nature, recognizing the nature of our mind, like recognizing recognizing your mind as unborn. Then you're able to recognize your mind as unseizable. You see, then from there, then you in fact never dies. You see, you in fact never dies. You see, so therefore your continuum is ever exist. Therefore, whatever effort you put, whatever dharma that you practice, whatever meritorious good thing that you have done, never wasted. If you cannot enjoy even how great thing you do in this life, if in case you didn't feel the result, you won't feel that it's lost, because your continuum in future, you will enjoy them. So this is very much the basic understanding of Buddhism. Whatever we do good thing now, the main result we enjoy beyond next lifetime. So therefore, even the main purpose of Dharma practice is focus beyond next lifetime's benefit, isn't it? So like that. Okay, so now I will continue reading. So after the four answer, it says, she was said to be responded to her companion with these four statements. At that point, it is said that Lotsawa overcome his sadness. Sumpa Lotsawa overcome his sadness. the practice he had learned in the past become effective. Because of that, all the dharma that he learned now become part in his heart, not just stay in brain, but become part. And extraordinary realize arose in his mind. So not only become part, the part actualized into result of realization on the stages of, the stages of the path, the realization, like that. So then the following is the commentary of those 4 answers and 4 questions that's stated here. So I will just read that. Okay. So my the short commentary or the thoughts that I've already presented before. So now this is in the text. So I will just read through it. The following is the introduction to this practice. It is taught that if you have a sense of acceptance, you will remain content with whatever degree of material resources you may enjoy, commensurate with the karmic potential you have stored for yourself. You will not envy others' prosperity, and you will ensure that immediate circumstances, whether happy or painful, will not burden your heart. So this is the question and answer, very much commentary, the question and answer, the first question and answer. Now the second question and answer, the commentary here, it says, it is necessary to recognize the nature of your own mind, guard your own place, and attain freedom on the basis of blessing from your spiritual teachers, and on the basis of applying special meditation techniques. Then the third one, the fusion of your mind with the dharma is this very lucid awareness of yours. It is vital that you recognize its true nature. Then the fourth one, to realize the mind as unborn is to realize it is origin. What do you call? Origin. It is true nature. Whether I read correctly or not. Yeah. Realize the mind as unborn is to realize it is originalized, it is true nature. And then the fourth one, to realize the mind. To realize the mind as unborn is to realize its origination. Oh, I read completely in the wrong line. So sorry for that. Okay, I read again. The fourth one. Okay, to realize the mind as unborn is to realize it is origination, and to seize it is death. So that is it sees it is death. Okay, so that is the fourth one. And now different section. The realization where you no longer differentiate between the actual meditation session and subsequent period, insofar as the cognition of the mind is free of origination, cessation, and abiding is concerned. This realization has no death. So here, so this particular meaning is a separate meaning. I would say it is commentary to what it means to understand the unborn nature of the mind or the emptiness of the mind. But to give a slightly different wording perspective, what he means is the ultimate stage that we reach, that literally that we don't have to experience the birth and death, in any factor, not just the mind, but in any factor. That is the stage when we actualize the wisdom capability of the the function of meditation and subsequent meditation in one. In one. So that is the stage when we actualize Buddhahood. During the training in the path, even those of in the 10 bhumis, there's no simultaneous meditation and post meditation practice. It has to be one after another, not simultaneous. You see, only in Buddha's realm, only in the wisdom of Buddha can able to perform simultaneous. While you are being in absorption of wisdom of emptiness, you can illustrate all the activities of the rest of the perfections, rest of the activities. Means there's not even a one moment of pause can be distracted by conceptual mind, any kind of contaminations. Everything is absolutely managed by managed purely by wisdom of emptiness. Even while you are expressing generosity, expressing love and compassion, everything is expressed without any stain of the conceptual influence. Is absolutely pure wisdom of emptiness. Like as for the trainees, even those of 10 bhumis practitioner, no question about us and no question about the ordinary bodhisattva's path. Able to engage in the pure conduct of absolute free from stain of any conceptuality is when you are in meditation in period, when you are in absorption meditation period. But then when you get into post meditation, then you cannot sustain that quality. Is it that quality? So like that. So therefore, what it means is that, you see, if we really want to completely destroy the Mara of death and achieve immortality, absolute immortality, then we need to achieve the Buddhahood. That's what it means. Like an example, Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, he achieved enlightenment after he eradicated the 4 Maras. So one of the Mara is Mara of death, isn't it? So like that. So, but still, just training in meditative absorption, even at this very stage, even before realizing emptiness, even just having some basic understanding of emptiness, and try to get into absorption meditation that we have discussed in the last session. You using the last session's practice is so powerful. As I already mentioned that before. That even we are able to do just few moments of absorption meditation on emptiness. It really helps to cleanse our being from those consistent contamination that we accumulated from our conceptual mind and our delusions, you see. And because of the impact of this meditation absorption, we literally become purer and purer being, clearer and clearer wisdom of ourselves, more and more holy, more and more precious ourselves, you see. So it is also is very much kind of less and less negativities and more merit of wisdom that we accomplish. You see, so that way, the more observation meditation we do, more effective to receive benefits. Uh, benefits of the Dharma realizing in the path. Mhm. Then in our day-to-day life, it is we are more immune to, to we will be equipped with more immune, what's it, more capability to easily and effectively deal with sufferings and difficulties, so like that. Okay, so this complete the realization where you no longer no longer differentiate between the actual meditation session and subsequent period, insofar as the cognition of the mind is free of origination, cessation, and abiding in consent. This realization has no death. So that's this complete the teaching. Now says that the lineage of this teaching is that the most holy Vajravarahi, Vajravarahi, and two Taras reveal it to Sumpa Lotsawa. He to Sapen, he to the great Siddha Sotangwa, he to Ketup Choje, he to Richen, he to Pashna Bodhi, he to Denshapa Buddharana, he to Kirtisila, he to Choje, Choje Jalwa Sangbo, he to Choje Sonam Richen, he to me Concho Bang. Yeah, thank you. So this complete. So thank you very much. Yeah, you see, when family members or friends, when they're in troubles, especially emotionally, and you as someone who learned Buddhism, they come to approach you, some kind of help. This particular text, this particular technique, the teaching, I think can be so helpful to tell them to help themselves with these tools. Yeah. Then, as far as concerned with the daily meditation, the last teaching, the mind training, taking joy and pain onto the path, as I mentioned during that teaching, this is, I think, something that which is so simple, so concise, so short, that is beneficial to take as a meditation guide in our day-to-day life. Even it can be just for 1 minute. I think it would be so beneficial. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, we dedicate the merit, whatever merit we accumulate from this session, and all the merit that accumulated in the past and going to accumulate in the future. All the merit that accumulated by rejoicing, the merits of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Gurus, and sentient beings. May this quality merit be a complete cause for numberless sentient beings to purify the suffering it causes and actualize temporary happiness all the way up to the ultimate happiness with enlightenment accordingly. May this quality merit be a complete cause, the pandemic in the world be overcome, natural disasters and the war, famine, all be overcome instantly. May this quality merit be a complete cause. All the people, such as the frontliners, carers for people who needs help, have always enjoyed good health, long life, fulfill all their wishes, so that they can able to take good care of those needy ones accordingly. May this quality merit be a complete cause. All the world leaders, the leaders of organizations, and who lead the family, and yourself who lead your life, all free from all the negative emotions, and always have fill the heart with the wisdom of selfless and emptiness and attitude of loving kindness, compassion, so that Anyone under their leadership can able to enjoy only virtues and peace and happiness. May this quality merit be complete cause all the good people in this world, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, all your spiritual gurus, yourself, your family members, always enjoy good health, long life, and fulfill all your aspirations accordingly. May this quality merit be complete cause also dedicate to all the people that who have requested prayers, from our gurus, from me, and from you, and those people who to whom we saw that they need a prayer support. We dedicate this collective merit and prayers, collective merit for them to actualize all their wishes accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause anyone who passed away, especially in last 49 days, and also just I think there's a lot of bushfires going on, and natural disasters, and so many sentient beings dies. And also due to COVID, I think there are still many people dying. Many people, died. So may this quality may become the cause for them to purify the suffering of death, suffering of in medicine, suffering of rebirth. They actualize rebirth in Pure Land. And they are always guided by Guru Cherezing and Amitabha and actualize enlightenment within their very lifetime. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the virtual institutions, monasteries, nunneries, all the Dharma centers, and whichever place that you practice, and all the conducive conditions where provide you to have a comfortable practice in the Dharma. Be free from all the inner outer sphere obstacles and actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the Dharma and virtue and peace and happiness, both in extensive learning as well as actualizing realization on the stages of the path accordingly. Yeah. So the dedicator ourselves and the merit and the purpose that we dedicate all understand in the nature of emptiness. Then whatever specific dedication you wish to do, please do now while I recite the dedication prayers. Jawa de nyu do da lama san ju tu ju do wa ji jama le ba de za la ko ba ju jan ju su ju bo je ma je ba nam ji ji wa ni ba me ba yang ko ni ko do pe wa re jo do ni da wa re ba je ma je ba nam ji ji wa ni ba me ba yang ko ni ko do pe wa je ni da wa re ba je ma je ba nam ji ji wa ni ba me ba yang ko ni ko do pe wa re sho gare da ko ve shin ga de ben de wa ma le ju ne je re za wa de ja zo yi sha be se de ba do de ji tu je ni ja wa ja be de ji nyu be ko do bo ji chu zo ko be ne me do ba da zo do je ko do sha de sho Jawa Gondo Yandala Mada Damage, Bella Sadalam, you ended the Dojan, you go on, you do show Juzanam, Kuzera, the Jinama, but the boss of the better vessels when you do a visit to Jeju, Pamas, and using a rotten to one that chooses Makana, so you would have when you monam to Jeju. Some Geneva, when you don't let you do any Male, but Tado Juma, Mebrai, Jo, Jumadi, Jonajan, and the mothers with your chances of the open the openness. Omen the little time which the day about Rajaman, but Zobes and you more than one of the Gerard to be Javana, the major say, they don't with the Tajan with Danta, maybe go to Bureau. See, the budget then comes the Jumba, the demonization of the population of Temba, you never die. She showed you that it's in the Kunjo Sum Tashi show. Okay, thank you very much. Please take good care of yourself and take good care of each other. Okay, see you. Bye bye.